Hi friend, can you and I just talk for a minute? I know that this topic is pretty heavy. I mean, abortion isn't something that people talk about over coffee, but I do want to have a honest, heartfelt conversation with you about it. This isn't to argue or condemn anyone, but it is to spread truth and life into the matter. My aim is for it to be scientific and biblical. The reason why is because this isn't just about politics or opinions, but it's about human life, real humans that oftentimes don't get the chance to speak for themselves or to even experience life. I truly appreciate you being here, and I hope that this video just helps open your eyes in a way that my eyes were opened as well. Let's begin with science. What does biology say about embryos, about human life? Embryology textbooks in medical schools are pretty clear about when human life begins. Per Moore, Persaud, and Torchia in The Developing Human, they write that human development begins at fertilization. A zygote is formed, marking the beginning of a new human being. So it is a genetically unique human being that has been created from the moment of conception. That's what that means. It is a completely unique genetic code, unique DNA. There is nobody else in the world like them, except maybe twins, but that's different. Generally, there is no other person like them. They are one of a kind. They have a unique DNA sequence, and it's nowhere else. It's in them. They are a combination of their mother and father, and they are unique. A baby is not the mother's body. They are a body inside of their mother's body, but they have their own body. That little body, it develops really fast. At just 3 weeks, it can have a heartbeat. At 6 weeks, it has brain waves. At 8 weeks, its organs are being developed. At 10 weeks, it has facial expressions. I mean, that's really quick development. It's not a slow process. It's not a theory. This is basic biology. So an abortion is the intentional ending of a human life. And often the abortionists that are performing these know this. Oftentimes, some mothers don't fully understand the grasp of what they're doing. They don't understand that they are murdering their innocent child. Here is another thing to kind of ponder on. We rightly outlaw discrimination based on age, disability, sex, race. So why do we allow discrimination based on age of development? A baby who is 23 weeks old that's been born prematurely has legal rights and it's legally protected. But a baby at 24 weeks in some states is allowed to be aborted. That's not consistent, and it's not compassion. In places like Iceland and Denmark, they claim that Down syndrome has been eradicated, that they don't have Down syndrome issues anymore, but the problem doesn't span that easily. The reason why is because they allow the aborting of babies with Down syndrome. It's not through healing, it's not through a cure, it's not through anything like that other than just murdering all of them before they're born. When babies are aborted for not being perfect, that's not healthcare, that is eugenics, and it's pretty gross. Women are often told that abortion is empowering and that there's freedom in it and that they're just going to be better off if they get an abortion, but that's not true. It's certainly not. It's not the full truth. A peer-reviewed study in the Journal of American Physicians and Surgeons found that nearly 75% of women felt pressured to get their abortion. And they found that over 50% of women suffered emotional or mental health struggles afterward. That was a study done in 2017. That's not freedom, it's not empowering, that's trauma, it's a wound. Those women are going to be scarred after that. And that doesn't even touch on the risks and the after effects of having an abortion. Some women may have infections, which can lead to death. Some women may not even be able to have another child, like they may not be able to get pregnant again due to the damage done on the womb. If you want to know what an abortion looks like, not just in theory, but in reality, I am going to have a link in the description to abortionprocedures.com. These are real, respectful videos by former practicing abortionists who share the reality. Two of them have performed over 500 abortions, another has performed over 1,000 abortions, and rightfully so, they have turned away from their former practice because they came to understand that a human life was being taken. So in all reality, those women in total have taken over 2,000 lives. That's terrible. These videos, they're not graphic just to be shocking. They are truthful and they are heartbreaking and they matter. And every person, I truly believe that every person who is going to even think about having an abortion should see these videos so that they can understand what is going to happen to the baby. Truly, I believe that if you're going to support something, then you should have the understanding and the education to know what you're supporting. And you should be brave enough to look at it, because these aren't actual realistic videos. They're just graphics of it, but it's still incredibly impactful because you can just imagine what it actually looks like. Let's also touch base on the legal double standard. If a pregnant woman is murdered, her murderer can be charged with a double homicide, one for her and one for her child. It's kind of ironic that if she chooses to walk into an abortion clinic and to get an abortion, that's called healthcare. That is a double standard. It's the same baby, just a different label. The Bible also addresses this in Exodus 21:22 through 25. In Exodus, if someone harms a pregnant woman and she loses the baby, it is a life for life. The child mattered and God recognized that. He knows that. We are made in His image. I have shared everything prior to this so that if you're not religious, then you'll have an understanding of why abortion is wrong from a moral standpoint, just to be human. But if you are Christian, I want to speak to your heart for a moment. I am sure you're familiar with Genesis 1:27, which says that we are all made in God's image. Every single one of us is made in His image, including the unborn. Psalm 139:13 through 16 says, "You formed my inward parts, you knit me together in my mother's womb. I am fearfully and wonderfully made." He knits us in the womb. We are fearfully and wonderfully made in His image. Jeremiah 1:5 says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you." So God knows us before we're even in the womb. He knows us before He's knitted us in the womb. I also think we're all familiar with Exodus 20:13, which says, "You shall not murder." That's pretty clear. God is the author of life. Job 1:21 says, "The Lord gave and the Lord has taken away." So the Lord gives life and He shall be the one to take it away, not anybody else. When we take life into our own hands, we are stepping out of our role and stepping into God's. We are playing God when we decide to do things like an abortion or to murder anybody in general. We are stepping into His role, and that is a boundary that we should not cross. Look, I haven't always believed the way that I do now. I used to be pro-choice. I thought that I was helping defend women. I thought that I was being compassionate. Honestly, I was pretty ignorant. I learned what an abortion actually is and what it does to the baby, what it does to the mother, and I haven't been able to stay silent since. This is something that I've become pretty passionate on because it is the ending of a life and harms the mother's life in the process. This isn't about politics, it's about people, real human beings, people that matter. You may not agree with everything that I've said, and that's okay. We can agree to disagree, I suppose. I would just ask that if you haven't already, to go to abortionprocedures.com and see for yourself what an abortion is. Just watch one video. They have about, I think, 3, 4, maybe 5 on there explaining what each trimester procedure does, what a D&E is, what the abortion pill does. Just go look for yourself and see what the truth is before you continue supporting a woman's right to an abortion, which I will say that I disagree with that. I don't think a woman has the right to get an abortion. Nobody has the right to kill another. If you're pro-life, please drop a heart in the comments. Let's show people that we're not afraid to speak up, to stand for what we believe in. If you're still figuring it out, I appreciate you for being here and for watching all the way through and just for talking about it. You're not alone, and I really hope that this video gave you something important to think about, something to ponder on. Please feel free to share this video with anybody who you think needs to hear this, and feel free to check the link in the description to dig a little bit deeper. Truth matters, and every life matters, in and out of the womb. The mother matters, and the unborn baby matters too. Thank you for spending a few minutes with me today, and I'll catch you in the next one.